If you want to race on Gran Turismo 7 or in Assetto Corsa Competizione in PlayStation 5, this video will be for you. But if you're looking also for something a little more broader that incorporates the PC and the Xbox, I will have a Sim Racer Buyer's Guide for 2025 available in the description. If you want to help the channel out, there'll be available some affiliate links below. There's really no budget, guys, without going towards the second-hand market, especially if you are coming in from a controller or you want to start a racing in Gran Turismo 7 or Assetto Corsa Competizione. There are a few good options in the second-hand market. Can be any of the ones that I'm going to talk a little bit later on, but also we can look at some of the discontinued products that are not sold anymore, but they are also good to have. For the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, I would urge you to stay away from something like the Logitech G25 and G27 because the compatibility might not be guaranteed. There are other options around those price points, maybe a little more expensive, in this case the Logitech G29s and G923s. However, there are a few discontinued products that I can recommend. The first one would be the Thrustmaster T150. It has pretty good performance and prices tend to be around 120 to 150 pounds. Secondhand, you can even probably find them under 100. Another option would be also the Fanatec CSL Elite. These have been discontinued a couple of years ago, but generally in terms of performance and in terms of longevity, they are actually quite good. They are belt-driven wheels, and you can probably find a set at around 150 to 200, and you probably need to buy some pedals separately, but these are really good options still. Still with the belts, we have the Thrustmaster TGT1 and TGT2. Since their belts are going to be discontinued fairly soon, these can be good options because everybody is moving towards direct drives. There is a very big advantage of the Thrustmaster TGT1 and TGT2 over everything else because Thrustmaster decided to add some sort of rumble pack at the back, a sort of a bass shaker at the back that will have haptic feedback that is really not seen anywhere else, and that includes the Logitech wheels. It's a completely different thing, and in terms of performance, in terms of how smooth it is, it's actually pretty good. And you can get a pack of this that includes with pedals from around 200 to 250 pounds, euros or dollars. Then there is this. This is the Fanatec Podium DD1. This is a PlayStation compatible DD1. In this case, it is discontinued, has been discontinued last year, but you can still probably find something like this at around 500, 600 pounds with the PlayStation support. This one is upgraded to the QR2, and it will be compatible with basically everything on the Fanatec ecosystem as long as it uses the correct quick release. The big advantage of this is that these things actually last a long time. I've had this for like 5 years and still works as new, and it's still a very competitive and competent wheelbase. But because they're not sold anymore in this moniker and with the PlayStation compatibility, well, if you find these online, they might be a little more expensive, but they may just be something that is worthwhile getting because, you know, it's a very good wheelbase. As always with the second-hand market, you need to be a little bit careful, investigate a little bit if the sale is actually correct, because like anything, if it's good to be true, probably it is likely too good to be true and maybe a scam. Going towards new equipment, I would tell you to avoid something that are called bungee wheels, that are wheels generally with no force feedback at all. It has just an elastic or something at the center of the wheel to give a force back to center, so there's no vibrations or anything like that. These might not be a scam. The prices of them are really not justifiable. Might as well just still play with the gamepad or just save a little more and get yourself a proper wheel that has proper force feedback and a good pair of pedals. I would say then avoid the Thrustmaster T80s or the PXN wheels or Hori wheels, something like that. Just avoid those. Go directly towards either the second-hand market or the ones that I'm going to talk about next. Starting with the new equipment, let's have a look at the Logitech wheels, namely the G29 and the G923. They're very similar wheels. They have good enough performance. They're a bit noisy, but generally very good in quality and long-lasting. There are still plenty of them enough. They're sold enough. Yeah, they have decent enough pedals. The main difference between them is something called a True Force. True Force on the G923 is generally a little bit of a gimmick. It gives a little bit of haptics. It's better on the bigger brother or the larger brother, the Logitech Pro, and actually in that one is actually pretty good. Though I must say that True Force in the Gran Turismo 7 for the G93 isn't really that bad at all, but the difference between one another, it will be around 50 pounds, and you can get the Logitech G29 for around 199, somewhere around those prices. and 50 pounds more for the G93. Between one of them, even though I like the True Force in the PlayStation, not so much in Assetto Corsa Competizione for the PC or even the PlayStation 5, I must say that, you know, with the difference, you can just go towards the G29, save yourself that a little bit of money, and buy yourself a shifter as well. You can get the shifter for around 50 pounds, euros, or dollars. So if you want something that may last you a lot of time and you just want to put on your desk and you don't have much of an issue connecting and everything being properly configured, go towards these, because these last a lot and they are a big step up from gamepads or bungee wheels. Next up, a pair of offers from Thrustmaster, the Thrustmaster T248 and the Thrustmaster T300. The 248 is a hybrid system, so the Logitech wheels are gear driven. They will have a motor and then go around the gear. The 248 is hybrid, so it'll have that, but as well a belt system for effects, and that results in increase of torque. They're slightly more torquey. This wheel is slightly more torquey than the Logitech wheels, and it'll be close in torque to actually the T300. The big advantage of this wheel is that it is incredibly strong. It is a little bit faster than a G93 in terms of the way it moves. It has a lot of buttons and it has compatibility with pretty much everything, and you can change the modes of the wheel, a little bit of the effects of the wheel on the fly, something that you can't really do with the Logitech wheel or even with the Thrustmaster T300. The pedals are actually pretty decent for this price point. You can find this at around 250 to 300, sometimes even less than that, depending of time of year. So in terms of options for the Gran Turismo 7 and for Assetto Corsa Competizione, this wheel is actually pretty good. But better yet, in my opinion, the best type of wheel that we've seen thus far will be the T300. This is an excellent wheel with excellent compatibility, and even today, even though there are much better wheels out there, even today the performance, it isn't too bad. It's a wheel that is not very smooth compared, for example, with the TGT2. It has a little bit of cogging, but it's much smoother than the T248 or the Logitech wheels, and it comes with the added advantage that you can change the wheel to the wheels available on the Thrustmaster ecosystem. It's a wheel that has been around for a long time. The pedals are decent-ish enough. If you buy it on the GT version, that will come with a clutch pedal and a pedal that can be changed with the performance rubber that comes inside. I like that wheel very much, and 2 years ago I've done a re-review of it and I found that it was still very, very good to use. Honestly, you can still today find deals on this wheel new from around 220 to around 300, and that includes either the 2-pedal version, which I would recommend you to avoid, to the GT version that will be closer to 270, 280, and that is the one that I would recommend to you because it has the better pedal set. And now the more exciting part of this video, direct drive. There's now plenty of them for the PlayStation. The bigger difference between direct drives and the wheels we talked about is that gear wheels or belt wheels will have a smaller motor connected to a set of gears or set of pulleys to amplify the torque that comes with a huge bag of disadvantages. Direct drives, though, they'll be having a bigger motor just behind the steering wheel. That means a smaller wheelbase, definitely much more torque, and the wheels will be much faster to respond. And the first wheel we're going to talk about is the Thrustmaster T598. Just came into sim racing a couple of months ago. I've had a few tests with it, and for Gran Turismo it's actually pretty okay on the rubbery side, but it's a new wheel. It will be having performance upgrades through firmware updates. On Assetto Corsa Competizione, I didn't like it that much. However, this wheel is compatible with the Thrustmaster ecosystem. That means set of pedals, if you want to have a pedal or if you want to change the wheels, you can do that. And also the set comes with pedals and the steering wheel and the wheelbase for $499. And if you want to connect it, to Gran Turismo, well, it's a very, very good package for the price, even if it's not really my favorite four-seat back out there, because in terms of price to performance, well, it's almost unbeatable. Next up, we have choices from Fanatec, the CSL GT-DD Pro, and then the Club Sport DD Plus. These options tend to be a little more expensive, or much more expensive than the ones we talked about before, but they come with a big set of advantages. Namely, the four-seat back is actually pretty decent. In the Club Sport DD Plus, it is absolutely mind-boggling good. And also there's a connection, a big ecosystem with Fanatec that includes wheels and also pedals. For the DD Pro, it starts at $599 for the wheelbase only, but they sell a bundle, the Ready to Race bundle, for $699 and $799, depending if you want 5 Nm of torque or 8 Nm of torque. That's also a big advantage on a Fanatec CSL DD or GTDD Pro, because if you buy the 5 Nm, you can actually do an upgrade to an 8 Nm if you need a little more power. The DD Pro in a bundle comes with the PlayStation or Gran Turismo wheel with plenty of buttons. It looks kind of quirky, but it has its usability in a pair of CSL pedals that can be upgraded later towards a load cell. The Club Sport DD Plus, there's 2 flavors of it. I need to remind you that it's the DD Plus that you need to buy for the PlayStation, not the regular Club Sport DD. The first flavor, just the wheelbase alone, that costs $999 for 15 Nm. I know it's very expensive, but the performance is really good. Or you can have the GTD Pro Extreme that comes with the PlayStation or Gran Turismo wheelbase. Once again, very quirky, but believe it or not, very usable. Even though the Club Sport DD Plus is my favorite wheelbase at the moment because of how flexible it is, the PlayStation, and how good the 4-seat back is, in Gran Turismo 7 and in reality in Assetto Corsa Competizione, it feels like it has missing something, which will be True Force. That comes with the next option, which will be the Logitech Pro. Now, this is a bit of a controversial wheelbase because it comes with a big set of disadvantages. And when I mean big, I mean quite literally, this wheelbase is huge and it's not a cheap wheelbase at all. You can buy just the wheelbase for about $699. That comes with the PlayStation version, just the wheelbase. But if you want the package will be around $999 for the wheelbase and wheel. Or you can buy also the pedals separately at around $349, but then you can have also a bundle savings, and then it will be around $1,000, a little more than that. You can also buy just the wheelbase and get something like the hub separately, because the chip, just like on the PlayStation version of the Club Sport DD, it will be on the wheelbase. That means then you can use the ecosystem from Logitech there. Now, this wheelbase for me, it is fantastic because of True Force. The wheel is 11 Nm. It is pretty good without it on the PC, but True Force, while it was a gimmick on the Logitech G923, with this big wheelbase, it feels like completely different. It's almost at the level in terms of haptics as the TGT, but the TGT even a little bit step above, even though the 4-seat back isn't as good, because it really makes you feel that you are driving inside a car. The haptics are really well calibrated. In Assetto Corsa Competizione, I also feel that the haptics are incredibly well calibrated to the point you kind of feel that the tire is flexing, something that generally I haven't found in any other wheelbase that I was testing. I think Logitech did a really good thing with it. But the disadvantages now for this wheelbase, besides the price and besides price to performance, is that the ecosystem isn't really as developed as the other ones that we talked about before. And even though there are some things coming and already are here, like the Club Sport Hub or the Club Sport shifter, sequential shifter and handbrake, it's still missing an 8 shifter. But generally, I think this wheel can be a good choice for you if you're looking towards PlayStation 5 play, in this case with Gran Turismo and Assetto Corsa Competizione. These are some of the options available out there. Let us know in the comments what you think of those and some others that probably I haven't talked about. This year I want to reach 100,000 subscribers, so I need your help. Press that subscribe and like button as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.